Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A very good Monday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Thank you to everyone for listening across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams, edmontonsportstalk.com, tune in, iHeartRadio. For those watching on YouTube or listening to this on podcast, wherever you get your podcast, we greatly appreciate it. Edmonton Sports Talk, proudly presented by Play Alberta. Tom Gazzola, Iwanyk with you here, and Murray McCourt.
Yeah.
He's in for his first Hangout of 2026. So excited to see you again.
Well, happy to be back. Sort of. I mean, it's a little colder here than it was in Florida.
How long were you going for?
Just a week. We left on
That's a
Boxing
nice-
Day, Friday to Friday.
That's a nice break trip.
Yeah, absolutely. But had to get back. I mean, it's 2 days of laundry and getting organized and stuff like that. And now it's back to work and school for everybody. And that's life, right?
Yeah, saw the kids walking to Grant McEwen today. It's like, yeah, school's back.
Yeah, traffic's heavier. Yeah.
Oh, it was nice driving last week. There's no one on those roads.
They cleared the roads, though. Shout out to the city crews. Like all the windrows are cleared out, at least on the main arteries. Did you notice
downtown, there's nothing on this 107.
No, 107 still a mess, but downtown.
Yeah, they did outside of our building yesterday.
Nice.
Last night, heard
Good.
that. We need those cleaned up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of side roads that need to get cleaned up.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of the most snow for the month of December. That was some of the most snow we've had ever.
Yeah, there is a lot.
think there's
but
like
I
fourth or
rain
something.
too. It got warm for a couple days while we
Yeah,
were away.
it melted.
And it
It was
rained
like a day.
a day.
Yeah.
And then
One
it
day.
went right to cold. Or like 2 days and right to cold, which is like the worst things we needed for our roads.
Yeah. And
How much snow were you clearing when you got back?
well, my wife's parents were coming over
lucky.
and clearing. Yeah, but they only did one strip down the sidewalk, and so I had to get the sidewalk a little wider. So that was a little work.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because there was a lot of snow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and they're not young, so it was greatly appreciated that they were there helping out with that for us for sure.
No, so it's it's nice that the crews they keep going. They're rolling out there. So I think the snow for a little bit is done based on this forecast.
And
Good,
the bunch
'cause-
will disappear.
Well, hopefully the road stuff at the very least just goes away
Absolutely.
once we get some nice weather in the next couple of
But then
days.
sidewalks too, though, because the snow's piled up and whatnot. So if it
yeah.
melts and gets the sidewalk wet and then it freezes at night, the sidewalks are just going to be ice. So I don't know.
Bad
Yin and
mix.
the yang of the freeze cold or freeze thaw,
That's for
stuff.
you. Hopefully the people you get out there when it's warm. You quickly clean that up as best as you can. So when the freeze comes overnight, there's less of it.
Yeah, but then you condo people, huh?
What do you
don't
mean
have to
you
worry-
condo people?
Well, you don't have to worry about that stuff. Like you're
That's
lucky
true.
in
That's
that
what we
way.
pay condo fees for, an exorbitant amount.
Well, fair.
I've done it.
Yeah.
They lived at home when I was the one that had to shovel the snow.
Yeah, he's the one clamoring to mow lawns and shovel snow.
It's great. I
yeah.
don't mind shoveling snow. It's a nice quick workout.
Yeah, I just wish people would take up advantage of that workout opportunity a little more because when you're walking around the neighborhood or whatever, it's like, are you kidding me that you got this much snow on your sidewalk and when people are trying to walk around? That doesn't make sense.
I did some shoveling this week over the holidays. So
Well, I would hope you guys were going and helping your parents.
Help
and
my
whatever.
aunt.
my parents live in a condo, so I don't have to touch
So
them.
you don't have to worry about
I
that
did
either.
girlfriends. I did hers
Okay.
a couple of times. It was great. It was lovely.
Well,
although she doesn't have a full driveway, so I was out of that. But then I even did her neighbors.
What a swell guy. See, you're getting brownie points with the girl.
He's
with
a
your
swell
girlfriend.
guy.
I love. Hey, I stand by. I do actually. I've always enjoyed shoveling the snow. I have it down pat. With an attached garage, how to go about doing it. I always believe at the very least you do the sidewalks up to the start of your neighbor's driveway. So I'll do mine the entire front lawn. And depending on the neighbor, maybe I'll do yours too, depending on how much snow or how much time I have.
Oh, well.
But only one neighbor on either side.
You're not going to go with the whole block?
No, that's where I always get I feel bad because I do one person's, but then it's just like, well, there's got to be an end to this.
Don't
I
feel
can't
bad.
do the entire block here.
Yeah.
I don't have a snowblower. It's just my arms and a shovel. So my thing, if I ever did my neighbors, it was one on either side. The one time I ever did it for two on one side was the guy was older. So I'd go help him out.
Just sidewalks or you do their driveway too?
Occasionally do their driveway.
Yeah. But that's nice in our neighborhood. We have a couple people that have snow blowers, and when there's big snowfalls, they'll do the whole block.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's appreciated.
Yeah, very much appreciated. They don't do the driveways, but they do this entire sidewalk on the block,
Which is great.
I had an old neighbor. He had an ATV with like a little snowplow in the front, and he'd do our roads. These roads right now stink, and they're all slushy. It's that soft slushy where you could get stuck. He'd go and he'd move them around, and our roads were great.
Though? Where would he put the snow?
We had an empty lot that was not purchased.
Okay.
And it was just so he'd just throw it over there.
Yeah, I thought maybe he's pushing it into some neighbors that nobody liked or something.
No, but it was great because we just take one turn and we got back on the crappy road, but right in front of the house, it was all good.
Money.
Then it broke. Then he never fixed it. I was like, that stinks.
Speaking of snowmobiling, Norman at Combine says snowmobiling is excellent right now with the snowfall. Love it.
I bet it would be.
That probably would be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Hangout is presented by Sentinel Storage Canada. Storage experts more than 2 decades helping Canadians through life transition. Canadian storage provider right now, 50% off 12 weeks on all units. So if one of your New Year's resolutions is to declutter your house and you need a place that you're not ready to get rid of everything, 50% off all units at sentinel.ca for more information. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, I'm surprised you're in as good a mood as you are this morning. I was expecting sad. Maybe you not even show up.
Yeah, what the hell?
Like, I thought you would just be grumpy.
Actually, there's two things that have... there's a few reasons. One is, as a Ravens fan, I was expecting all of that. And I was expecting devastation yesterday, and even as likely caught that ball, I'm like, we're going to lose by a missed field goal, aren't we? Like, this is how the season ends. It's a missed field goal. But I'm distracted already. Today, Manchester United fired their manager. Ooh. So I woke up to that news, and I'm trying to wrap my head around that news. And Miami Hurricanes football still around. So I got Thursday, I've got a semifinal. So that's like...
an unexpected semifinal because Miami... Yes. Well, that was a
so like there's
result.
Things that are like...
All right, there's some positives to offset the negatives.
Well, yeah, and there's just other things that have jumped up now that I can be like, okay, well, whatever. Like the Ravens, the one thing I was watching yesterday as the Ravens were blowing that game in many opportunities was Lamar Jackson's just not healthy.
Yeah.
He hasn't been healthy for weeks. And for most of that game, he didn't run. And he was standing in the pocket. And Lamar can stand in the pocket and throw a good football at times, but that's not when he's the most dangerous. It's when you know, okay, well, if this pocket collapses and he runs, we're screwed. So now we've got to, spy him and things like that, and it opens up guys. And the Steelers were having their way at times. Yeah. And then there's just so many injuries that the Ravens that it was like in the end, the Ravens weren't going on a run for a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. If the defense knows that Lamar isn't going to be running, they can totally change their game plan to just go after him and not have, like you said, not have to have a spy on him and worry about him. Just that extra guy to get after him or go back in coverage, whatever they decide to call on that play. But that makes it much easier when you're playing Baltimore.
And there was a couple times I'm saying like, okay, I would see Lamar in the past move out of a pocket, and he was just standing there. And then like those were a couple of those batted balls that he had. He was just standing in the pocket. I'm like, why aren't you running and stuff? And then they make like when the Zay Flowers touchdown happened, like part of me was like, well, that was really quick. It was almost too quick. But you want the points. And then the Steelers go get points, and then you get in field goal range. And like,
what was your reaction
Tyler
to the missed
Loop.
field goal? What was your how were they swearing, throwing stuff?
Quiet,
just quiet.
Texted my buddy. I'm like, knew it. What was the text I sent Warren? There was swears in the text. I can tell you that right now.
Your Pablo Escobar and Narcos just sitting there. Staring.
F me. Knew that was going to happen. Was the exact text I sent to my buddy Warren. It's poetic. That's how it ended. Blew it all season long. Needed one last mess up. And then to steal the words from Jay Milne, effing kickers. And I didn't use effing for any of those things. It was the full swears. So that was my immediate reaction, was to text my buddy and be like, yep. Because like the Ravens season, up and downs, and anytime you think something good was happening, they'd blow it. Bills to open up the season. Great lead, blow it in the fourth quarter. They go on a losing streak.
That was crazy.
Bunch of injuries. Yeah. They start winning some football teams to get you back up. Blow it to the Cincinnati Bengals on Thanksgiving after, like, just Mark Andrews fumble through the end zone. Just mistake after mistake and Mr. Mistake in that first half. Lose to the Steelers because the refs don't call a touchdown. Get some of the wins. Blow it to the the New England Patriots on Sunday night where they have a nice lead. Blow that one too. Somehow miraculously make it into this last game. have a 10-0 lead, blow it, get the lead again, blow it, get into field goal range, blow it. There's the season. It was perfect for what the Ravens seasons have been for the last number of years.
And now what's going on with Lamar?
He'll be fine. He's got 2 more years left.
Okay.
He ain't going anywhere.
Okay.
It's more what's going to happen with John Harbaugh.
Right. He's been there forever.
18 years.
Damn.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What, you think you guys would let him go, or would he?
The talk is right now, it's leaning towards safe, but the idea of a change possibly. You same with Tomlin yesterday. One, it's 18 years. It's been a long time. 2, the argument could be made that this team just hasn't, with Lamar, they haven't achieved what they should have achieved. That there's just always error. But then I flip that around and go, but look at all the injuries that the Ravens had this year, even last night, all the injuries they have. And they got into field goal range to go to playoffs. The kicker missed it. That's not kicking, or that's not coaching. And who you're replacing him with.
Coach. You cannot fire a coach.
But there is also a level, is he at a point where he goes, it's been long enough for me here. It's the Mac T with the Oilers to a degree.
Yep.
Yeah, I think both sides were ready for it's been a long time. Maybe I need a break from this team as much as the team.
Wow. What's his contract status?
I have no idea. I think he's under contract.
He can't just leave on his own accord.
But if both sides come together and be like, you want to know something, maybe we'd like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I think there'd be a lot of teams lining up for John Harbaugh tomorrow.
Absolutely.
The Atlanta Falcons should be a team that would want John Harbaugh.
Well, any team that had an opening should want John Harbaugh.
Yep.
So that's kind of the bigger one right now is what's happening with John. But at the same time, if they have to if there is an issue, there was reports of him and Lamar having issues maybe. Then if that comes up, okay, well, do you want Lamar or do you want John Harbaugh?
You want Lamar? I think it's pretty obvious.
I would think Lamar has a few, like John is, when they hired him young. But now you're at a point because of 18 years. How much left does John Harbaugh have coaching?
Well,
He's 63.
Is he the older Harbaugh? Or is Jim older?
I think John might be.
They did
He's
the
63,
walk
I
off.
think he's-
62. Jim's 62.
it's only 1 year
John's
difference.
63.
Oh, so they're right there. They did the walk off interview with him at half, which was great. He gave a great answer, but I was like, man, he's getting old. Like that was the thought I had.
Well, it's actually surprising to me how many coaches coach so late in life. Like most of us want to retire and relax, and coaches go until 70, 72, 74 years old.
Yeah.
It's like,
Look at Pete Carroll.
Don't you want to slow down and enjoy, other parts of life?
Right.
I don't know. But so at 63, that's not an old coach.
If I was John Harbaugh and they walked away from me, I'd probably never coach again.
Yeah, well, why would
I'm
you?
63. I think this year he was like the 4th highest paid NFL coach. I've made some good money.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great time to retire. I'm gone.
But
Peace.
why do others keep going? Like Pete Carroll, if he gets fired, is he going to show up again? Like he's 70 something, right?
74 now?
74. Like,
And he's older than Bill Belichick.
why is he doing it?
And they're talking about letting him.
Yeah,
Obviously,
it's
they're
life.
terrible in
Going to,
Vegas,
yeah.
but
It's all they've known.
Wow.
Like Pete Carroll, was he a player back in the day?
Don't think so. But
So Pete
Like,
Carroll, he's
life-
74.
he was like a lifetime coach. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, so since 1973, he was born in 51. So when he was 22 years old,
he started coaching.
he was a graduate assistant and has done that all the way until he had a year off between Seahawks and the Raiders, where he was a senior advisor. It's all you know.
Yeah.
You don't know anything else. And you sit there and be like, well, what else? I don't want to. What, I go home and I just sit? What is that? I'm
you
supposed
can
to be
still,
watching film. I'm
go
supposed
play
to be doing
golf. Go do something because the hours they put in is ridiculous too.
this. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't they should just slow down. I mean,
Bill Cowher, look at him. There's a guy who everyone thought he was going to take another coaching gig when he left the Steelers. Just went to TV and they never got another coaching gig, and he just did his TV.
He's good at TV.
And
They have
they're
a good
slowed
panel.
down completely.
Yeah.
But got his Super Bowl. I said, I'm good. I don't need this.
That's the way
This
it
is a
should be
nice
for
life.
some of these guys. Exactly.
I can still watch film. I can still do my football, but I don't have to do it from 5 in the morning until 9 at night.
Exactly. Hey, and 9 at night, she's midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at least they can make good money. You look at the CFL coaches; they put in the same type of time, and what do they get paid
Well, I get like $500,000, isn't it?
for a head coach?
Yeah.
Yeah. The coordinators in the NFL are still $2-3 million for some of them.
That's right.
A coordinator, geez, I'd be surprised if J.C. Sherritt was more than maybe 150. I mean, it
Yeah.
might be. I don't really know. That's information I've never
It's
seen in
not
the
something you're
CFL.
you're retiring off of.
No.
But it's good salary. Like just for everyday life, it's good salary. But yeah, I can see why CFLer would want to go as long as possible.
Yeah.
And then that's why I'll never rip on a coach for ever going to the NFL. Like I will never get mad at Scott Milanovic for what happened with
No,
Edmonton.
absolutely not.
He was going to coach that year if we didn't have a lost season. And then he had an opportunity to go coach in the NFL again. And to me, yeah, you took some money from maybe there could have been an argument he should have given money back to the Elks because he actually never did anything, but it was his salary. He was employed.
Yeah. Didn't work very hard, but
Absolutely. But then you have an opportunity to go to the NFL, take it.
same thing as a player. I mean, the players get an opportunity. Even a practice squad guy in the NFL is making way more
$200,000,
bank than he is on a roster in the CFL. So yeah, that's common sense.
Browns fired their coach today,
Yeah.
but they're keeping the GM, which makes no sense. That's dysfunction right there.
They're just a perpetual mess.
Yeah. Like he's a coach of the year winner
Twice.
Solid coach. The Browns just got derailed ever since they've signed. Just traded for Deshaun Watson, gave up everything for him, and then signed him to a completely guaranteed contract.
And
Ridiculous.
he's never played or hardly played.
And so it's not the, but like
That's
to
the
me,
coach's
if you're
fault.
getting rid of the GM, then okay, fine, you're going. We need a refresh, but keeping the GM doesn't make sense.
Was the GM that they're keeping the GM that made the Lamar Jackson move? Or is this
Deshaun
a
Watson
different?
move?
Or just, yeah, sorry.
Let's
Deshaun
find
Yeah, because
out.
that was only 4 years ago, 4 years ago
Yeah,
now.
because if he's firing his coach when he's the guy that made that move, that's crazy. Because that's
Andrew
got to be one
Berry
of
is
the
their
worst
GM.
moves in NFL history.
He's
That's the owner. That starts with the owner.
Well, sure.
I think.
he's general manager and executive vice president since 2020. So I think that would have been.
So he would have been the guy that made the
Yeah.
arguably the worst move in NFL history, and he's kept his job.
Because 22, he was played it for the Browns. So that's where it's like right there. Like it's just that's dysfunction.
Now,
Yep.
I think if my memory serves me, in 23, their coach won Coach of the Year. They won 10 or 11 games with 5 different quarterbacks. Like that's out of this world.
The Browns?
Yeah, 5 different quarterbacks and make the playoffs. Wow.
Stefanski will be a hot candidate for
Yes, he
somewhere
will.
else. So, yeah, okay. What's the head coaching record? 11-6, made the playoffs, second in the AFC in 2023,
Yeah. Now,
and lost to the Texans in the
now
first playoff game.
search the list of quarterbacks that started for them that year.
Okay, I need the
'Cause
Browns.
it's
Was
not-
Mayfield still there that year?
Well, we're about to find out.
In the season, on Wikipedia, like the first paragraph. In the season, the Browns started 5 different quarterbacks: Deshaun Watson, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, PJ Walker of the Calgary Stampeders
Oh,
fame,
wow.
Joe Flacco, and Jeff Driscoll,
And they made
Wow.
the playoffs.
with a 11-win record.
11. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was 10 or 11.
No,
That's
11,
insane.
11-6.
With those quarterbacks, how in the world do you win 11 games?
We all saw PJ Walker go to work with the Stamps this year. It wasn't good.
Wow. But yeah, fire the coach. He's a
Their
terrible
losses
coach.
that year, they lost to the Steelers by 4. They lost to the Ravens by 25. They lost to the
you had to
Seahawks
get
by
that one in
4. They lost to the Broncos by 17. Lost to the Rams. I'm not even going to do the math on that one. Big. And then lost to the Bengals in the last game of the season, but they probably would have already clinched the playoff spot. And then got smoked in the playoffs. But they got to the playoffs, which is... Actually, so here's a stat I saw last week about the Browns. They're getting a new stadium in the next few years.
Are they really?
Yeah.
They just got one like in the late 90s.
Yeah, it's okay. It's old now.
No, that's true. Well, we're starting to see that with arenas and stadiums.
The Cleveland Browns in that stadium have never held a playoff game.
Wow.
And it's expected, like, by the time that stadium's built, they're probably not going to host a playoff game. That stadium will have gone start to finish without hosting an NFL playoff game.
That's sad.
Wow, yeah. That's the Cleveland Browns. That's the nobody of the league, really, right? Like, guys
great
know
way
a
to describe
Cleveland
it.
Browns fan?
Yukon
Yeah,
Jack.
Jack Michaels.
What?
And
see?
Uke too.
But I don't know, like, if he's full diehard or if it's just also there's nothing to cheer for.
I was expecting silence when I said that, and you both blurted out names instantaneously. Wow.
No, I think we did this on the Hangout once. It went through all 32 teams, and I know of someone or one of our listeners I could point to that is so I know someone of all 32.
Wow.
Jack's like a big Browns fan, like hardcore.
Isn't that something?
Suffers not in silence. He's very vocal about his detest for them, but loves them deeply.
All right. But I know I was still worried about you last night, though. I almost texted you too, but I thought, man, I don't want to be that guy. Not that I was going to bug you or whatever, but within 5 minutes, Canada implodes and loses the
World Juniors.
semifinal in the World Juniors, and then your team misses a field goal to make the playoffs. Like within 5 minutes, and I asked you before, were you flipping back and forth? And you said, no, you didn't watch the hockey game. I'm like, wow, okay, so you weren't as invested in that shit show.
I haven't been invested in the World Juniors in a number of years, and it largely is due to work because we used to run the games at 12:60. And the scheduling of commercials behind the scenes is something I did with the person that we had over there, Kim. And the problem is at holiday times, they're off. So we do our scheduling days in advance. Well, when you get into the knockout, you have to guess what's going to happen to a degree.
Yeah.
And so like last night, I would have had like going into Monday's log would have to be done already. I would be guessing, okay, is Canada going to be in the gold medal or the bronze? And I'd have to guess that last Thursday or Wednesday type of thing. And then so I would be watching that game specifically. I would be cheering for Canada because I'd probably pick them to go to the gold,
right.
but I'd only be because of work purposes. Because I'm like, if Canada loses, I've got to change the scheduling. We got to change our station because the bronze medal game's earlier. We always carry a bronze medal game. I got to bump programming. I probably got to talk to like work wise. It messes with me. So for years, it was just I watched it out of from the lenses of an off-air work thing, and I grew to hate the tournament. And I just haven't gone back to liking the World Juniors. And it's a selfish thing. It's a behind the scenes thing. But like Al Mitchell will talk about that. Like there's certain times when you do certain jobs already where you cheer for what's best for work.
That's fair.
And for a World Juniors perspective, like I just want them to just win completely, and I'd have to never worry. But that's not how it goes. So like today I'd be pissed off because I'd have to change things. Yeah. And then this person, you're not working today. I'd have to contact the people that did our draft reports. Like, hey, we're not doing 2 reports today, which then costs money. And then it's just a pain in the ass.
Well, I remember back in the TSN days, TSN also covered the World Hockey Championship games. Mm-hmm. And so my show was started when the World Championships are on. And so when it got to the gold medal game and the bronze medal game, if Canada was in the bronze medal game, my show would have been premium. I was like, what the heck am I going to do? Like, I have advertisers and all this stuff that my show has to happen. And so it just worked out. Like I was cheering so darn hard for Canada to win to get to the gold medal game all the time. And they did all the time when that was going to potentially impact my show. But that's crazy when it can impact your work.
World Hockey Championship, same thing. Like, because that would have been if they lose and they're playing bronze, then I have to go. And like, that's on a Saturday. So I'd have to go in and change the logs on a Saturday at night, fix that, make sure I'm connected with you to be like, sorry, Murray, like the show's can we move it or whatever? Yeah. We had religion programming at that time. So I'd have to let religion programming know that they're not airing. Jesus is not speaking his words today on 1260. Like it would just be, so it was just from a work purpose. And then the Monday, I'd have to tell the traffic person, we didn't play these commercials. This didn't happen. So she'd have to reconcile it and she'd have to do make goods and she'd have to balance all out. And for us, it was just like, this is no. So like you cheer for certain things. Just say like Oil Kings. I just wanted them to sweep 4 games every series. Right. Get into a series, sweep 4, move on to the next round.
What the Oil Kings games were on TSN too?
Yeah, we had the rights.
Yeah, we had the Memorial Cup both times. They went to the Memorial Cup in the 2010s.
I think it was our last 2 years where they took it in house.
Well, we stopped. We didn't renew. It was our choice.
Yeah.
We did that during COVID at some point.
Yeah.
I think that was a decision we made. And then weirdly enough, as we left, like we were going to bring them back before 1260 got shut down. We were going to do like a game of the week.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
They approached us and like, we'd like to get back on. And I was talking with our boss and we trying to figure it out. And then actually they are now on iHeartRadio and they worked a deal since 1260 went away. They're all on iHeartRadio.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little inside of radio.
That's how that happened. Now, there was a text as I was driving in on the Nielsen show where someone said, I'm paraphrasing, but it was, I've lost my love for the World Junior Tournament because of everything that's happened with Hockey Canada and all of that. I understand if people feel that way. I really do.
Yeah.
And then Joaquin was on and Dusty and Rick and Joaquin were trying to figure out, like, where is Hockey Canada? Where is our junior development program at? What is the problem? And don't get me wrong, I think they just kind of crumbled under the pressure.
They sure did.
Yeah. So good team, a lot of skilled individuals. Joaquin made a great point about, like, it's an all-star team essentially. And that what I liked about what Gager said was the identity of Canadian teams at the World Junior Tournament were teams that were hard to play against, tough. And it feels like, and this isn't just this team that we watched lose yesterday and that has been in this tournament. It feels like it's been like this for a decade plus. It's just arrogance. And I know when you're good and you program of excellence, all that stuff, but they don't have that tough, we're gonna beat you up in the corners and then score on you type of. It's just, we're Hockey Canada, we're Team Canada, we're the best. And
yeah. So last year's team, though, they left so many of the uber talented players off the roster.
Yeah.
And because they did go more of that way, and then they lose, get fifth place, and countries, what the hell? You left all the good players at home. So this year, I mean, that roster was stacked. That is arguably top 3 best rosters ever for Canada in that tournament. Mm-hmm. And they don't win. And to your point, though, like, and this is the thing that really pissed me off about it, is in the end, when they were imploding, there was all this emotion and all this passion. Guys are slamming their sticks against the glass. Guy stands up on the bench and kicks the boards and then sits back down like, how about throw that into your play on the ice?
Yeah.
Like, don't be halfway through the freaking game and have 6 shots on net against Czechia. Like, are you out of your mind when you've got Michael freaking Misa, 2 overall last year, and he stunk in the tournament. He absolutely stunk. And McKenna, like, geez, like, is anybody right now thinking that McKenna is anywhere in the same breath as a Celebrini or a Bedard or Islanders defenseman that just Schaefer. Like, he's not.
This is where the whole NCAA window and everything, how it changed in the last year, is interesting, because we're seeing him play as a 17-year-old, and he's good, but it's not, wow, this guy's the best. But it also indicates, like, he's 17, he's playing against 22-year-olds. It's hard. He's in school. He's got other responsibilities now.
There's a guy that Schaefer just turned 18. He was 17 when this hockey hockey season started.
Yeah.
And look what he's doing against
older guys
and professionals. Like, I believe there's 10 guys on Penn State that have more goals than McKenna. Yeah. Like, pardon?
Yeah.
He's this guy that was touted as the next coming of, whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, it just, what you were saying is, I agree with wholeheartedly, that when they were just acting like a bunch of immature brats after they got, they imploded, and the guys are going at the referees, they're smashing their sticks on the wall, they're kicking the boards, they're doing all this stuff. Well,
they're mad. I understand that.
How about show up and play the freaking game? I mean, you were a far better team than who you were playing, and you got your butts outworked from pillar to post, start to finish in that game. Yeah. How do you let that happen?
And it's crazy because they dug themselves out of 4 holes, right? The Czechs scored 4 times to take the lead, and they dug themselves out of it every time. They weren't able to carry any momentum. And I was watching that. I'm like, okay, you got the equalizer. Everyone's pumped up. Go get that next one. And don't get me wrong, I fully believe that their intention was to get the next one.
Sure.
But it's just like, did the moment become too big for the group? It always seemed like every time they scored to tie it, the Czechs had, like you said, Murray, just stuck with their game plan. They played a good game. They deserve a lot of credit.
Absolutely. They played great.
And guess what their game plan did? It gave them opportunities because Canada would buckle and the Czechs would take advantage of those opportunities, like those scrambles in front. You know, there was some tentativeness and it seemed like from a Canadian perspective, there's also good fortune too. That one that went off the skate to go ahead late, that was like just, oh my good. I was like, come on, that's how that goes in. Bad luck too, but you got to kind of work for some of your luck. Yeah, you're right. Like you look at the score clock. I left my parents' place after dinner yesterday in the first intermission, got home, the second there was a few minutes into the second, I fired up the TV and I'm like, okay, that shot clock can't be right. The Czechs had doubled the shots and Canada had 6 shots.
Yes.
I was like, this is messed up. So we're always going to overanalyze them.
Oh,
if they don't
lose,
win,
of course.
Yeah, and when it becomes consecutive years in a row where they're not getting a gold medal or not even in the final, it's going to get questioned. But and I understand too the thought of, do we need to look at how we do the World Junior team, and the answer is probably yes. But I think it's like the whole structure and the system might need some tweaking too.
Yeah.
And I know the US, they didn't get through to
They weren't a very good team.
No, but that program that they've built, you know, the US is going to be right there year after year after year. And I think, and I said this to Belzy a couple of times, and Belzy's in minor hockey coaching elite AAA hockey. And I'm like, I think the Americans have kind of surpassed us in the development side of things, just how the structure of it. And he goes,
phenomenal. I agree.
yeah. And he said, you know what? We have a lot of problems that we need to clean up in Canada, and academies versus, club system. Who makes the team, like who's involved, the politics,
money,
which have always been a part of it too. What kind of style of player are we creating? Is the game changing? Like, there's a lot of things where self-reflection might need to come in here, but I think this is not a new thing. I mean, it feels like for the last 4 or 5 years, we've been going and looking at how we do things and say, well, when was the last time we pumped out a good goalie?
Well, that's a great question.
It's been for the World Juniors, like
Fleury.
That was 25 years ago.
To me, it still comes down to this. Like, this is I know I've said this on the show before, but back when I was the GM of my junior team, one of the big things I always said is my team was always uber talented. Our third line would have been the first line in any other team in the league most years. But we'd lose some games because hard work beats talent when talent isn't working.
Right.
And not to say that the Czechia is not talented. That's arguably their most talented team in that tournament in maybe ever.
Yeah.
But they were not Canada's talent. And when you watch Canada be lazy on back checks and just expect other guys to get the job done, and you cheating to go up the ice and whatnot, like, man, like you got to work for it. And they didn't. And it's just annoying. I mean, some of these same things, we can talk about the Edmonton Oilers, which I'm sure we will. And those same things exist. Yep. Where all the talented players, they have a lot of talent on the team, but they don't always work very hard. Yeah. And Czechia, every single shift, they were relentless on the forecheck. They were after the puck. They were winning battles. It's how you win hockey games.
Yeah. You know, it was interesting. There was one tying goal. I can't remember if it was Rushny's second goal, but they get the camera on the ice, which I actually think is a kind of neat production tool that they have. But you can hear the mic, and one of them's like, "This is our house. This is our house." I'm like, "No, it isn't." I can't think like that.
You're in Minnesota.
You're in Minnesota. You're playing the Czechs. Like all the Canadians that came down from Manitoba, maybe some in Ontario or flew in or whatever. They're trying to make it as favorable as they can for you, but you're not. That's not your house. Yeah. And I was just like, that's a weird thing to say. It was just an observation. I don't know if it has any bearing on anything, but just thought to myself, I'm like, no, it's not your house.
Well,
just be hungry.
the emotion. It's interesting,
Use that.
Matt, that you talk about not being into that tournament, but because so many people, when you saw the crowd, you weren't watching the game, but they were people are crying in the crowd.
The Finn game.
And whatnot. Yeah, there's so much emotion with it. And one of the best times I've ever had with my son is, I'm a Celtics fan, as you guys know. We were watching when they won the championship there a couple years ago, and he's standing on the coffee table. He's like 3 years old, and he was cheering way more than I was, like just going crazy and bonkers. And then last night, we're watching the game together, and when the horn went, my kid went on a tirade of epic proportions where he's F-bombed and like so many swear words coming all the time. I actually started laughing. My wife wasn't laughing. She was in the bedroom reading, and he just throws all these swear words, and I'm just like, hard not to laugh. But he's throwing stuff, and
Kid's a rock star, Murray.
He's going nuts, so angry and pissed off that they lost. And I'm just like, I was pissed off too.
Sure.
But not like that. Like, oh my goodness. But I don't know. But it brings up passion. Sports brings up passion. That's why we love it.
True.
Yeah.
Now, although I understand why you dislike, or not dislike, but the disinterest for the World Junior. I get it. My passion and desire for the World Juniors faded like 10 or 15 years ago. I remember I was working in Lloydminster, and all of our newsroom people, a lot of Saskatchewan people in that newsroom, and they loved it. Like that was better than a big gift on Christmas was the World Junior. They loved it. And I remember like taking a step back. I'm like, why so crazy for this tournament? And that's when I was starting to realize like the grand scale of what the World Juniors is compared to like the world rankings and what it actually means. And then you take a step back and you go, well, is this a big deal in other countries? And why is it always the same 3 or 4 teams that are essentially winning it? I was like, this is just because we've done this. And that's when I kind of took a step back from the passion side of the World Juniors. I still like it. I think it's a great tournament, but
I'm disappointed that it's just, I think some of the interest all comes from disinterest. We've just gone to the NHL barns.
yeah.
And back growing up, it's in Red Deers. It's in those parts of the world. And it's parts of Canada and stuff. And that's what Edmonton doesn't need it. Now, Red Deer's getting it. That's why Edmonton's getting it next year.
Good.
So Red Deer can be involved.
Yeah.
But like Red Deer Medicine Hat, Red Deer Lethbridge, but the money isn't there for Hockey Canada to do that.
That's why it's every other year in Canada.
Because it's blown up and it's become such a big tournament that Canada's this is like Hockey Canada's like cha-ching, we're gonna make all this money. It's like, okay, well, but now you've lost the essence of what made this tournament fun, which was just a small CHL barn being packed as we're watching some good hockey being played, and that's what I miss.
Well, how about it's in Canada every other year because you just got to follow the money because it's sold out every single game in Canada. Where in USA, it wasn't sold out in the Canada game last night, and then you go over have it in Europe.
They struggled with attendance throughout this whole tournament.
It's a junior hockey tournament.
Yeah. But to the kids, though, like, did you like the passion that Chetya showed? And then you guys probably didn't watch any of the Sweden-Finland game. Like,
I caught those shootout. That was wild.
Those two games were crazy, and
the 4 breakaways for that Bjork kid.
Bjork kid, and he missed every one.
Yeah.
And one in the Canada game. Have you guys ever seen a goalie trip? Like Michael Hage on the penalty shot, the goalie trips him and he gets a redo on his. I've never seen that
too.
I know. How dumb was that? It's so crazy. And then the Sweden game, and I love how they can keep going. Like Frondell, who won it for Sweden, that was his 3rd shot in 8. He was the 8th shooter, but it was his 3rd attempt. And you guys probably remember
Jonathan
Taves years ago.
TJ Oshie did that for the U.S. too.
Shot, right? Yeah. And I think it was the 3rd one. But I think Taves scored all 3.
Yes.
Frondell, that was the only one. He's one of 3, but it was the game winner. So.
Yeah, that was wild. And you're right, the passion. But for the kids that are playing in that tournament, it's huge because it has a massive bearing on their rankings when it comes to the draft.
Yes.
And then also the kids who have been drafted, it can help elevate their status. And then you look at, was it McKenzie from the Oil Kings? Like, why hasn't this guy been signed? He's been passed over at the draft 2 years ago. Now all of a sudden he's looking at a pro contract coming his way soon.
Who's that? Sorry?
Ethan McKenzie.
Oh,
Yeah. And so that part of it for them, it's huge, massive. And don't get me wrong, it's still a very important tournament.
Yeah.
But
And for the Czechs, you got a history. No matter what you do in your
Yeah.
career, you beat Canada.
yeah, but it just,
That's a big thing.
how crazy we as Canadians, I know the Finns, I've seen it firsthand. They can be crazy about it too, but it just feels like we've, as Canadians, have taken it too far. And it's like, can we take a step back? And the answer is no, because of the money and because of this institution that it has become, that it's almost sacrilegious to say, it's not that big of a deal. For those kids, though, it is, because it has a huge bearing on their futures.
well, Bjork from Sweden, he was kind of projected going into this tournament as a late first-round draft pick. That kid's going top 10 because of his performance in this tournament, for sure.
Yeah.
And then defenseman on Czechia, I think his last name is Galvis. He's been undrafted in the NHL draft 2 years in a row. That kid's getting drafted this year. This is his last year eligible, but then he'd be a free agent. But yeah, he's going to go high because he's been dominant in this tournament.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a showcase, is what it is.
and who's who in the zoo from the NHL is there watching. And so if you're gonna rise or fall, the eyes are on you.
Yep, exactly. It's a great stage.
I'm sure TSN is thrilled by the gold medal game, though, tonight.
Yeah, and 2:30 for the Canada game. But
Is that the time?
Here's a question for you guys. Because of the way Canada imploded yesterday and the negative emotion that went into it, I question whether they're going to show up today and with any type of effort, or because if they're just like,
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
It's on Dale Hunter to rally them.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, he's a good coach, obviously. He's won a lot of championships. And, I mean, that London team is basically it's like a mini NHL program, apparently. So it's up to him. Get them together, get them in the right mindset. If you don't, what you said, Murray, maybe they just go out there and say, screw it, and they could lose. That could happen.
Haven't played for bronze since 2014. Lost to Russia that year. Also played for bronze against Russia in 13. Lost that one too. Played for bronze at 12. Canada, Calgary won. Beat Finland. So the last 3 times Canada went for bronze. They lost the last 2, but then won the one before that. So
I just question the mindset of this team because I just felt, like I said earlier, just so much immaturity in this group. And and another name we haven't talked about, Porter Martone. That's another beast that was nothing in this tournament. He's the captain of the team. And I don't know. It was just disappointing. I expected them to roll everybody in this tournament. But
Remember the first game against the Czechs when he went and gave the guy on the Czechs a pat on the ass as he was skating by for the goal? What an ironic twist.
Yeah.
And Martone scored a nice goal. He got one of the tying goals yesterday. But I guess it's those little moments like that going all the way back to the first game of the tournament where you're like, what are we doing? That's where I feel like the arrogance
absolutely. And he was the captain.
Yeah.
And he does something like
set the tone that way.
Right.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Zane Perek? I was listening too, and they were talking about Zane Perek, and he's going to be a stud moving forward. And I'm not so sure. He's got some skill, but defensively, I think he lacks. He's a little soft. He was in the NHL this year, and he looked awful, I thought, and which is why he's here and not in the NHL. And it'd be interesting to see if he's going back to Calgary now or if he's going to go back to junior. That'd be a big boost for. I remember where he played in junior, but
is it Ontario?
Yeah, I want to say that, but I don't know. He's skilled, but I don't know. I don't think much of him. And think that he's going to have a crazy big future. And he's in Calgary, so hope he sucks anyway.
Maybe he can work on those things. Somebody gets a hold of him and helps him.
Yeah.
Attitude, if there's some deficiencies in his game and they recognize them and work on them, then he should be okay.
He had an interesting comment, too, and he talked about, and his media guys, it's really interesting what he said because people were talking about him and the way he was talking is he was showing so much more of his personality than he was when he was in Calgary and with his interviews and stuff. And he was like, well, that's because I'm told in Calgary that I have to give basic answers and I'm not supposed to show my personality. I'm just supposed to be like a robot. And he said, I hate it. But so this is good that I actually can be me and whatnot. And I found that so fascinating because it is the way. I mean, you listen to every answer after every game from the players, and it's just like just so cliche.
And you also don't want the young guy coming in saying something that the rest of the team's going to have to answer to. So if anyone's definitely going to get don't say anything, it's going to be the new kid coming in.
Yeah.
Shut up, rookie.
Exactly. I think he's going to get some negative fallout from those comments within the Flames organization. But why? And that's an interesting point, though. Why he's clearly being told that. But why? Like, why is it not okay to be real with the media and show who you are as a person and give real answers instead of the garbage stock answer that everyone does all the time?
I would love to give you an answer of what the benefit of that is.
Yeah.
We always say hockey players just too bland. There's nothing.
Right.
Other teams, other leagues can have players being honest, and it's not a detriment to their teams. So I don't know why hockey would be viewed as a detriment, that all the media is going to take a soundbite and run with it and beat it to death. It happens in every other league, and teams still do well. So I don't know why hockey needs to be different. What, hockey players can't handle it?
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
there's still a little bit of that fear of creating noise, and I think it's kind of at times it goes away, but there's still moments where you're like, this is just painful. And they are beating it into them, like, don't say anything that's stupid. Don't say anything that gets us into trouble. Don't say anything that'll create more work for the captain or the PR staff. There's still that a little that lingers and hovers over them. It seems like
makes your job much more difficult doing post-game shows and things like that, where you're not getting anything of substance out of the dressing room to be able to talk about or whatever.
Well, we run post-game clips because it is, you want to hear some insight and get some fresh takes, and it kind of helps some people and gives you more understanding. I don't mind it, but you're right. Like,
you're not getting much value.
There's times where, we'll run, a Draisaitl post-game thing, and then we'll run one other player, and then Reed will come on and say, hey, did you run Knobloch? And I'll say, no. And then he'll say, well, the only good thing he said was this. And Reed paraphrases it, and basically you get the gist of what Knobloch said or anything that was good. And there's that one nugget. Yeah. And if we had run it with his tone and how he speaks, most people probably wouldn't catch some of the stuff he says. They always say he's so boring when he talks. He actually does say stuff. He just does it in a manner that's so quiet and calm that it's harder to catch on to. Yeah. You have to really be listening.
That's one of the things that's so great about Reed. He's pro, so good at what he does, and he's able to, pick those things out quite easily where other people, like you said, might not. So when it sticks out to Reed like that, and he's able to point that out, and then it gives you something to build off of in the conversation, and with you guys talking, and then with the listeners to chime in with their take on it too, right?
He's listening on everybody's behalf.
Yes, absolutely.
He's the one reading the textbook while everyone else is putzing around.
And that's Reed Wilkins at the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Millen from 3 to 6, Monday through Fridays, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Look at that.
Coming up later today, we also have EST Afternoons Oil Stream and the Lock Shop. Myself and Dusty on the Lock Shop. So we will have the Lock Shop coming up in a little over an hour's time here at Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice of Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta, the official drink of the EST Hangout. It is the Finnish long drink legend of 1952. A drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor. Longdrink.com/Canada is where you can enter a post to go and find a liquor store establishment nearest you with the long drink in stock. We got Murray McCourt, Tom Gazzola, Iwanyk with you here on the Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage.
We got breaking news.
What's breaking news, Murray?
Well, as we discussed earlier on the show, forecasted a firing of Mr. Pete Carroll.
Yes. I was worried you were going to say John Harbaugh there. Not going to lie. I think that's going to be a few days, but...
Yeah. No surprise there. It was kind of rumored, but...
Yeah, but just a year on the job. That's always interesting.
It's not like... And the Raiders are... kind of like the Browns in a lot of ways. There been nothing of substance for years and years and years, and Pete Carroll's obviously a great football coach, and you give him 1 year, and you think he's going to turn your garbage organization around in 1 year. It takes time. And now, did they end up getting number 1 overall?
Yes.
Yeah.
They clinched it.
Man, you give a quality coach like Pete Carroll and you get the number 1 overall pick. I mean, that's something that can then maybe start to turn your organization around a little bit. But
Tom Pelissero. Tom Brady's in the Raiders facility today as he prepares to take on a bigger role in the team's football operations, along with his college teammate, GM John Spytek. I don't like that.
And he's supposed to be a broadcaster.
Oh, he is a broadcaster. Make a decision.
Yeah,
Football
figure
ops
it out.
or business ops. Where do you want to go? You can't have a guy taking on a greater role with the Raiders,
Right.
and having him broadcast games. Sorry, that's just complete conflict of interest.
When they
Don't like
allowed him into the ownership group with the Raiders and still allowed him to broadcast, like that opened the door to a slippery slope. And now the slippery slope is they're starting to fall down it. So,
the station has to remove him.
but his contract is monstrous.
Oh, boy.
It wasn't like a $300 million deal for like 10 years. It was
how much was it? I'll have to
huge.
look how much it was.
He got a ridiculous sum of
It
money.
was a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
their lawyers better. I mean, because something like that,
Right.
there should be clauses in there.
10-year, 375.
There you go.
Oh, there should be a clause. Yeah, if there's got to be some sort of outs.
Are you an owner or are you a broadcaster? Because there's conflict of interest. And I know when there's Raiders games, he's not supposed to do them. And there's also stuff where he's limited in what kind of information he can get from other teams. And because there's all these stipulations, but all of a sudden, like, he's Tom Brady. Like, people want to talk to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
people on other teams want to talk to you. And
If he wants to be a minority owner, I'm fine with that. I could live with that on the broadcast. Because a lot of minority owners just
they stay out of it.
They just want their name on
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Once you're getting involved, no, you got to get off the. You're either on the broadcast or you're not.
Figure
and
it
you're
out.
in the Raiders organization or you're out of the Raiders organization. You're on the Fox broadcast.
Yeah.
It's got to be one or the other. You can't have both. I don't like that at all.
Now, the Raiders are a mess, as you said.
Absolutely.
They've been a joke since they got to Vegas. They got a beautiful new stadium. They have great team facilities. Of a weirdo owner still.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, they've had players get arrested, get into fatal accidents, do stupid stuff. Like, it's
Culture.
brutal. Yeah. And again, like the Browns, I think it starts up top.
Sure, it does.
Like, Mark Davis is a weird looking and probably very weird dude.
Yeah.
And who's too involved?
Yeah.
Yeah, way too involved.
And he's not his dad. He's not the guy who knows every inch and nook cranny of the organization, how to run a football team and how to be a
He
good
sure
program.
thinks he does, though.
And that's a problem.
Yeah, big problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah, something like another team I like that in Dallas, same problem.
Yeah. That's right.
Do you guys making any changes?
I think the defensive coordinator is
Is he gone there?
going to get removed, but Jerry comes out last night and says, yeah, we're going to take 10 or 12 days to evaluate our coaching staff and see what changes we want to make. You know, giving up 30 some odd points, almost every single week wasn't, you need more time to analyze how bad your defense sucked.
Well,
I mean,
didn't it take
you-
a really long time with Mike McCarthy last year?
Right, and it cost them-
forever?
right, and they didn't learn anything from that. That it cost you opportunities to have discussions with some other guys that were. So the same thing's going to happen if they don't make a decision on him for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and all these other moves are happening. Guys are going to be building their staffs immediately, and they're going to miss out on some guys. But supposedly they're after Brian Flores because his contract is up in Minnesota.
right.
But he should be top of the food chain to get another head coaching job.
Yeah. Today's Black Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be hearing more of that.
Yeah.
So there should be some changes. So
But
what do
Flores,
we have
though,
so far?
he may be kind of a black mark for as a head coach though, because remember he's in a lawsuit against Miami because he was the head coach in Miami. I
Oh,
don't
was it
remember.
wrongful dismissal? Or
Right.
was it
It's and it's
racially motivated? Was it something along
something
those lines?
like that. And so I don't remember the exact details, but I do understand it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
And man, like that's a little scary if you bring
Yeah.
that type of situation in the organization. Like whether he's right or he's wrong with where he is, I think
Yeah.
it might scare teams off.
Well, how about there's whispers that John Gruden might be back in the mix?
Which I I would say he's not. He's suing the NFL.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
no
That's
way
why.
he's getting in. Unless he drops that lawsuit.
That's why, like, for the last few weeks, well, John Gruden might be available. It's like, what is happening right now? What do you mean, John Gruden?
He's been out of the game for a long time, though.
Yeah,
Now it's
not
changed.
4 years.
Is it only 4?
Or whatever it is. It wasn't that long since he was, not that long ago the Raiders fired him.
Yeah.
The Raiders.
But that was
Again?
because
Yeah.
the emails leaked out and
Oh, right.
there was all
That's
that with
right.
him. So, which is why him suing and the lawsuit going ahead could open discovery, which could be bad for the NFL. And so I hope he keeps that lawsuit going because I want to see everything come out type thing. But the Falcons need a coach. Browns need a coach. Titans, Giants need coaches. Raiders. So we're at 5 right now. We'll see if any more open up.
That's okay. Cardinals, strong 3-14 season. Jonathan Gannon will lead them to the promised land. Like yesterday, I watched the post-game report, and the girl was like, yeah, the Arizona Cardinals dropped a 30-14 decision, whatever it was. And I was like, wow, that sounds like me during the decade of darkness, wrapping up a crappy 2013-2014 season. Like, it was very cheerful. And it's like, did they win or they lose? Oh, wait, they got their asses kicked. And that's just where they're at. Jonathan Gannon's not going anywhere,
Do you
though.
have any other coaches on Linko? I don't think.
See, like the Cardinals have Michael Bidwell Jr. I think he's a weird guy.
Oh, for ownership?
Yeah. I think he's nice and you see him in the community and obviously a lot of that's staged, but if it benefits the community and supports charitable foundations and groups, that's great. But you're like, I don't know. I'm a little suspicious.
I think most billionaires type thing, there's weirdness to be a billionaire just in general.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think just in general, if you are a
bill,
billionaire, you have some sort of weirdness to you.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Hey, man. Hey, do we have any stickers kicking around? Ladies here. Pick up some stickers.
I've got a couple things, yeah.
Okay, I'll slide in for you if you want.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look at this. Guest appearance from
Guest
Dusty Nielsen.
I
appearance.
heard you guys talking about Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I was listening to the whole show.
Thank you.
So what they say with Brady? Brady's gonna,
So he's going to be involved in hiring the next coach for the Raiders.
Be
But
more involved in football.
but continually more involved, or just in the search?
that it'll be. Did you say or did Maddie say he's in the facilities today?
today, yeah.
So
to help with it. I mean, if you're gonna have him advise on a coaching hire, okay, but he can't be more involved in football ops and be a color guy.
that's what we're
Like,
saying.
exactly what we're
I
saying.
get
Doesn't
it.
make
It's
sense.
Tom Brady. He can kind of do what he wants, but from a league integrity perspective, can you imagine in the Canadian Football League if Suits was doing color for me, but was also the assistant general manager of the Riders?
That'd be
Like
messed
people
up.
would mock the league,
Yes.
right? Like you can't have it. You can't have it both ways. And there, you want to advise, whatever,
Right.
But he can't be more involved in football ops. Like either get into football ops or broadcast. And I think he's gotten better as a broadcaster.
Sure.
I still don't necessarily love him, but he's gotten better. So I mean, he's got to pick a lane though.
Is there somebody, a broadcaster in the NFL, I mean, or play-by-play guy more so, because that's
Yeah.
what you do, that you kind of like, you want it, when he's calling stuff, you want to listen so you can kind of
Yeah,
learn
I
some
mean,
stuff and whatnot?
Tarico was good last night. I thought he nailed
I
the
love
call of the
Tirico.
game winner. Like Tarico's good. My favorite guy's Kevin Harlan.
Yeah.
Harlan has a ton of energy, which I like. He also crushes basketball. Like he's multi-sport.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty impressive because he's awesome at both of them. So Kevin Harlan's he's my guy. Like
With Sunday games, I find there's a lot of guys calling games that are very casual, especially the 11 a.m. and the 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. starts.
are those national guys or that's just picking up the local feed?
Maybe it is the local feed,
Might just be
but
picking
there's
up
the
local
one
feed.
guy, was it Spiro? Is it Spiro?
Yeah, I don't know all of them.
I can't remember what game he was calling, but he's got a very casual tone. But like Jim Nantz, when he gets fired up, he gets fired up.
Yeah.
But he's got that calm, cool kind of voice. But like, there's a few guys where you're thinking, is this game exciting or not?
Yeah, it's Al Michaels. Like Michaels is ready to go.
Yeah.
Hey, like he's 80. He probably shouldn't be calling games anyway anymore, but you can tell. What was the game? It was a couple weeks ago. It was before Christmas. It was a Thursday nighter, I think. And he's had a lot of duds on Thursday night, so I get it. If game's a dud, it's tough to, what do they say, paint a turd or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Polish a turd.
polish a turd. But like I can't remember what it was, but there's a touchdown like late, and it was a Puka Nacua touchdown at overtime. And I mean, if you had a heart rate monitor on him, he probably wouldn't even have noticed it ticked up. He's like, "Hey, here's Nacua. That'd be a touchdown." And I was like, "Man, this is overtime right now. It's a big game."
Yeah.
So I mean, there's some guys who've had great runs. Might be time to go. There's some young guys on the way up who are pretty good, and then there's like I think Harlan's amazing. Tarico's pretty talented as a broadcaster on a bunch of different levels. Obviously, Nance. But yeah, I mean, it's like as a fan, like I've got some hockey guys that I really like and other hockey guys that I don't like, right? Like it's very difficult to be loved by everybody.
Yeah.
I think Tarico does a pretty good job of that. Well, I have some people on Twitter sometimes who don't necessarily love my energy level sometimes, but I mean, that's I really don't care.
You can't win them all over.
No,
That's
that'd be impossible.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you're another one for you while you're here. Okay, CFL off season so far. Who's won in your opinion in the CFL? Who's taken a step to get better, and where do the Elks rank in how you feel they've done in the off season?
Yeah, I mean the Elks are interesting because there's still. I mean, we got to get to free agency and see what they do at receiver.
Yeah,
right.
That's
like
a big one, yeah.
Moving out Niles Morgan didn't surprise me. He was great, but I think it's not just them, but their defense got better as the year went on.
Absolutely.
Without those guys. And you still got Nick Anderson. And now they got Mogensen signed again.
Yeah.
And I know DeBlanco had, where was he? Green Bay. Worked out in Green Bay, but I think he'll be back.
Yeah.
So they've got a good enough linebacking core that they can move some pieces around there. I think it'll be interesting to see what they do at receiver. So to be determined with the Elks. Dedrick Mills got paid as the highest American running back, which I think is deserved.
Yeah, great year.
Nothing against VA, but I think Dedrick Mills is the focal point of that Calgary offense. I think the one big move that's happened so far that really helps the team is Darnell Sankey going to BC Lions. Sankey was the middle of the Montreal Alouettes defense. They let him go so he could sign somewhere early. And BC brought him in. I think they let Josh Woods go. Woods will get picked up somewhere. He's a good, big linebacker. But they had Alway there last year who had like 1 million tackles. But I don't know if they actually loved him in that spot. So Sankey's a game changer on defense. And if you're the BC Lions, you're sitting there and you're going, okay, well, they have the offense, right? They kept Hatcher, they kept McInnes, they've got Rourke. We'll see what they do at running back. They'll probably keep Butler because he's a good fit in that offense, but I think he's a free agent. And now you got Matthew Betts, who was the defensive player of the year on your defensive line.
Again.
They just re-signed Sione Tehema, who's another defensive lineman who kind of flies on the radar, but he's really good. And now you add Sankey to the middle of that defense and a secondary that's got some young guys who are on the way up. I think the Sankey move, I think could end up being like the best move of the offseason. We haven't even got to free agency. Like Sankey's a monster.
Yeah, that got a lot of love.
Yeah, he's good.
Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Here's an interesting thing. This was a thought that crossed my mind when they traded Niles Morgan. To me, I think he's one of the last pieces of the old regime when things were so bad. And I know there's leftover guys, and DeBlanco is one of those guys that was signed. But like, how many guys are left over from the Chris Jones era?
Not many.
Right.
Not many now.
And that's a good point. That was like one of the few like true legitimate, I'll call him a star in the league, Niles Morgan, that was from the Chris Jones era that's still left on this team.
Matt, do you want back in here?
Unless you want to stick
No, that's good. I'll see you on Lock Shot, buddy.
Yeah. So who's hosting? Is it me? Number one. Who's the host of the show?
That changes everything.
Who's the host?
I think we talked about this before. I think maybe but like the return for a really good linebacker is moving up a total of 4 spots in the draft over 2 rounds like that. I don't get that. I can't believe they couldn't have gotten a player.
Right, and that's fair considering how good Niles Morgan is. Mm-hmm. I wonder though if it had gotten to a point where Ed just said, you know what, let's move on and we're going to do what we can and see
they
what
get
we
salary cap space.
Yeah,
that's the player that you're getting.
Exactly. It's a to be determined player.
Yeah.
In free agency.
That could be it too.
A receiver. Because if they're they're good at linebacker, they need a receiver, so they take his money, give it to a receiver, and we'll see, right?
2 more defenders to sign. Kobe Williams and Kongbo. Some breaking news. Arizona Cardinals are firing coach Jonathan Gannon, sources
I thought he wasn't going anywhere.
Wow.
Endless losses to finish an injury-riddled season spell the end. Who should be a top-tier defensive coordinator candidate now?
He was talking about, what was his post-game presser yesterday? He's like, we're building. It's like, no, we're not. This team sucks.
So Giants, Titans, Falcons, Cards, Browns, Raiders. We've got 6 NFL coaching openings right now at the very moment. GM openings have the Dolphins and the Falcons as well. I don't know what would be left. Ravens are still a question mark, I think, until you hear one way or the other. There has to now start being questions of whether John would be let go. And I'm just trying to think of the teams that made the playoffs. Would Tomlin still go? There's talk of him maybe going to TV or something.
What about McDaniel?
McDaniel?
Yeah.
Josh McDaniel?
Mike. Oh, yeah. He'd be a good coach. I was surprised he didn't get.
There was talk about him being let go during the season, and then they rattled off that win streak, and then it kind of quieted down. So,
yeah, Belzy's not happy that he'd be sticking around.
well, Belzy wasn't happy when his team went on a heater. It was, like, do you want your team to have success, or what are you cheering for here?
Well, I was cheering for my team to lose yesterday, and they did a good job of purposely losing when they, just subbing in all the right guys at the right time and getting Dak on the bench to be healthy for the offseason. And so that moved Dallas from, but if they would have won that game, they could have gone as low as 18 in the draft.
Okay.
With the loss, they could have gone as high as 11, but enough other teams won they're 12, which is a big jump from potential of 18. And losing to the Giants moved them from number 1 to number 5. That is also a significant, Giants should have thrown the ball right into the hands of the DBs all game long to get number 1 overall.
Well, the Giants losing helped the Cardinals finish last in the NFC. Or the Giants winning helped the Cardinals finish last in the NFC.
So you get bumped up at least one slot because of it. And that's huge.
Because they're 4-13, Cardinals were 3-14. I was like, oh, really? Okay.
5-1 in the NFL is astronomical difference.
Yeah.
And saying 18-12 is an astronomical difference too. I mean, they call that around like a mid-second round draft pick value. If you were to trade back from 12 to 18, you'd get, a second round draft pick as your compensation. So that's a significant difference in the quality of player you can get at those spots. So, man, losing is helpful in those scenarios.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
The 3 teams in the playoffs that I would wonder about questions of their coach if they lose. Apparently the Packers came up.
Seriously?
Yeah, which surprised me. But apparently they saw a report that they'd be maybe interested in Kevin Stefanski.
Oh, wow.
He became available, and if they flame out, which would be a little surprising because Matt LaFleur's been pretty good.
Lost 3 in a row.
What was the other
don't
two
have
teams?
Micah anymore.
The Tomlin's an interesting one too, still, just because it's like the Harbaugh situation. Long time is, and if you lose, because he hasn't won a playoff game in over a decade.
It's been rumored the last couple of years with him too. So
yeah, that's right.
Sometimes if there's smoke, there's fire.
The other end, then it's the path is clear for the Buffalo Bills to get it done.
That's your pick right now, is Buffalo?
No, but the path is cleared for them. Okay. If they fall, let's say to Jacksonville.
Ravens.
Okay.
Chiefs, the big bad Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs.
Yeah. Wide
Or
open.
if you don't get to the Super Bowl, I do wonder if Terry Pagula is the guy that would make a change there. So,
who you guys got right now? I mean, it is such a
I don't know.
Every Monday we've been okay. Now that
San
this
Fran.
just happened on Sunday, I don't mind San Fran either.
Yeah.
to win it all,
Maybe. I don't know.
they just the way they played against the
Seattle,
Seahawks, and now they have to go on the road throughout.
So you were on the Rams, weren't you?
No, I was on this 49ers.
Oh.
Yeah, after Seattle handled them San Fran so easily, I'm not a Seattle guy. I don't like them, but I mean, it's hard to not think of them as maybe the favorite in the NFC.
But that's the season that it's been.
Yeah.
You think one thing, and then the next week the opposite happens.
I'm on no one.
Exactly.
One is I don't even know how much football I'll watch this weekend. I'm still going to be bitter. Usually I wait at least a week type thing. And if the Hurricanes lose on Thursday, I'm going to be even more pissed off because of football. Rams, Panthers. Rams are 10-point favorites.
Yeah.
Packers, Bears. Bears are 1-point favorite, so that's basically a pick 'em. You got the Bills as road favorites in Jacksonville, -1.5. Eagles are 4.5-point favorites at home to the 49ers. Patriots are 4-point favorites at home to the Chargers. And the Texans are 3.5-point road favorites in Pittsburgh. Thankfully, that Rams-Panthers is that first game so that it could just happen and no one has to pay attention to it. Because good for the Panthers getting into the playoffs. It happened in a fun way where they lost, but then the Falcons won, so it got them in. It was just such an NFC South thing. They ain't winning. They ain't doing damage in these playoffs. So I honestly, as of right now, I don't know. I will say that with the NFL. I'm not making a there's no point in making a declaration.
I kind of agree with you that Buffalo, but I like Jacksonville's team too. Like the winner of that game, I think might do be the one in the AFC. But like I said, who knows?
I would love if Jacksonville did it.
I think so.
It'd be a cool
story.
What would be a cool story? Jacksonville versus maybe the Bears.
Bears, yeah.
Jacksonville Bears. That'd be a fun Super Bowl that no one would be expecting.
Now, Marshall and the Muzz's college fund, a.k.a. the Trevor Lawrence collection of cards Dusty has, would take a significant boost.
I would think so.
Yeah.
That'd be
He's
a fun
good
one.
quarterback. I mean, that's why I kind of been onto them a little bit lately, just as a sleeper pick, if you will. I don't think many people predict them to make to win. They're a sleeper pick for sure, but I don't know. It's so open.
It's wide open.
Yeah.
Why not them?
Well, exactly.
Yeah, why not, Murray?
This year, why not?
Yeah.
Like it's very true. Tonight, we also have a national championship being played in football.
Oh, Jay Milton, Javier Milton chiming in. Seattle did not handle the 49ers easy. It could have been a different game if McCaffrey doesn't drop / cause a goal line interception. I still blame whoever made the decision to wear those hideous black jerseys. They can go beat Philly and then get a rematch in Seattle.
No, Jay, you want to know something? McCaffrey had that happen, and they still lost. I didn't mind the goal trim a little bit.
Well, I'm sure the glue guy would be on board with me with this one. No Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I like his attitude. Philadelphia lose this weekend.
I'm mad. Jay's the one. Like he asked me on Friday, what do you think the Ravens are going to win? I was like, no, they're not. He's like, yeah, this is perfect. I want you to say that because then I believe. Like he kept saying that, telling me that the Ravens are going to win, and he loved how. And look what happened, Jay. Both times this year, you came to me before the Ravens Steelers saying, oh, the Ravens are going to beat the Steelers, and what happened?
They lost.
So it's his fault.
Well, it's just like, listen to me sometimes. When it comes to my football team, listen to me. Montana State Bobcats, Illinois State Redbirds in Nashville. It's the FCS National Championship game, 5:30 tonight.
You were talking about.
That's the national championship that's going on tonight. Let's go Bobcats. Let's go Montana State, baby.
Did any of our parlays, I saw one was still sitting there. Are we close on anything or did it lose?
I have no idea.
Oh, man.
I wasn't in on anything.
I've taken about 20 straight losses on Play Alberta right now.
What?
I need to use my game sense.
The bet that is up.
Just bet more.
Yeah,
Get it all back in one bet.
Dig my
and
way
then
out of
you
it.
do
Hey, dig up.
Eric and I in the lock shop on Friday built an NCAA parlay where we have the Bobcats -10.5 tonight. Ole Miss +3.5
Yeah.
against Miami
I hopped on
Thursday, and India. Well, none of the games have happened.
Oh,
You're
okay,
betting
so it's still-
against Hurricanes?
I know Ole Miss +3.5, so the Hurricanes can win by 3. Eric thinks Ole Miss was going to win. I was going to take Miami, so I gave him the +3.5.
All right.
I hopped on that.
You
I
hopped on that
just
one?
wasn't sure.
I
if
ain't
it
hopping
happened
on this
weekend or not.
just straightly because I don't bet on my teams generally.
Okay.
So I'm not touching Miami.
That's using your game sense. 'Cause
I'm
they don't
focused.
use your
No, it's
heart.
fandom. I don't need to be double pissed off on Thursday if they
fair.
lose twice.
Double pissed.
Indiana -4.5 against Oregon. It was such a small line. No, Thursday I'm going to be all giddy.
Indiana's only 4.5.
They were as of last Friday.
J.A. says, expletive kickers, Maddie. Expletive kickers. Blame those eggheads. And then this text says, Nike made that jersey decision. I blame Jay's play of the day. Futures bet.
Yeah, Hoosiers are down to 3.5. It's moving a little towards Oregon, which is surprising.
Huh?
I will blame kickers too, Jay. Don't worry. Honestly, I do wonder if you cut him or not.
Did you see picture of your coach consoling him in the hallway. In
John
the
Harbaugh's always been a good human coach.
Yeah.
The reason I want is like, do you risk going with him next year where he has to exercise these demons or not? Like this could either derail a career or it could get him.
What's his season average?
I will have to look. Although he had a messed up. Like everyone's going to focus on that missed field goal in the game, but when the Ravens had, where was it? I have to balance it. They scored before that, and he kicked it out of bounds on a kickoff. And it was one of those situations where it's like you can't do those things. So he had two big mistakes in that football game. I'll have to look up his.
And I'm also curious how old he is.
He's 24.
24. So, oh, come on.
And he had a 90% field goal percentage. He was 29 of 33.
That's a learning experience.
I know, but because of how devastating of a loss is he going to have those jitters in the next moment and he's going to mess up again, or is he going to make it? That's the question you have to have. The flip side, I will say, the last time the Ravens actually had their season end on a big kick, they won the Super Bowl the next year. Billy Cundiff missed in New England. Ravens won the Super Bowl the next year.
Well, there you go. So he's 24.
Bring it all back.
24, 90%. That is a learning moment.
Except he's missed in a couple big moments, like where the pressure's been there.
He's young. That's what happens.
We got to go make it.
You know who
the
wouldn't
next
have
one
missed
he
that?
will.
Sean Fleming.
Although he had that miss in the playoff that one year.
I know, I'm joking.
I remember that one.
Well, the guy's legs are getting kickers' legs though. Like a guy made a 67-yarder yesterday.
Yeah.
Like holy!
You have to get to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, that's all you need.
You need to go 15 yards.
Yeah, that's
from a touchback, which gets the ball at 35. You now need to go 15 yards to be in field goal range. That's where it's almost a little ridiculous.
Is scoring up in the league this year though? Because that change was pretty significant. So how much is it? Yeah, I also feel
I don't know
that it's making, because it's shorter fields, it's making guys gamble on fourth down a little more.
A lot more fourth down gambles. And then you hear the broadcasters be like, well, the analytics say this.
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, I built a parlay last week and I needed it was that crazy 49ers game where they were going back and forth. And I needed 2 field goals from the 49ers and they kept gambling on fourth down. I was getting mad. They were in field goal range a couple of times and they gambled and they hit it on fourth down. They converted and I was just like, bastards.
And that's why gambling's not good.
I know. Actually, Brandon from Windsor is like, Tommy, I'm hearing about these losses. Did you not? It's like, well, I've won a couple of good pots. I play Alberta and I've used some free bets that were made available. So little sprinkles. I do use my game sense.
All right.
So this season, it was the highest scoring season since 2020. That said, I should move to points per game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th. It's the 5th highest points per game per season per team. Like 23 points, it's saying. Because there's more games being played now. There's that extra week. So that does change the scoring of how things go, actually. And if you go by just average, scoring summary league averages per team per game. It is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th highest points per game per team. But it's the highest since 2020. Okay. So it is gone up slightly.
Yeah.
T-Mac Texan says, Murray, your NFC jealousy is greener than the Eagles jerseys. Go Birds.
Well, fair.
With a funny.
I am jealous, I have to admit, but I have to hate them. It's if you're an Oiler fan,
Washington,
you can't be a Flames fan.
Philly, who else?
Yeah, everyone hates everyone in their division. It's just the way it is.
There you go.
But
Giants.
Yes, I am jealous. They've won a Super Bowl or 2 since my Cowboys have.
Mm-hmm. A lot of teams have won since the Cowboys last one.
That's
How many of the
30
Cardinals
years
won
ago,
since the Cowboys?
0.
Exactly.
They're a terrible franchise.
Zip it over there.
Their like championship banners are from like the 30s and 40s when it wasn't even the true NFL. And I think they were playing in Chicago or St. Louis at that time. I think it was Chicago. So there's that.
All right. So you cannot talk.
Well, no, I don't. My team sucks. I readily admit that.
Yeah. But you stuck with them.
I
Good
stick
job.
with them.
Yeah.
But like the last few weeks, I think I watched the game a bit 2 weeks ago, and I was like halfway through it, I was like, this is terrible. Like this team's garbage. No chance. And sure enough, I was right. The last time they won was against the Cowboys.
well, exactly.
Guess what? That also cost me some money. Jay and I went hard on the play of the day, thinking the Cowboys would win. It was a Monday nighter, and the Cowboys blew it against my team.
This is why I don't bet against your team.
I
I bet
know.
for your team. You leave your team on the side.
If you want your offense to have a good game, just play against the Cowboys.
Oh my goodness! You were the one at that time. Be like, they got some new guys in the mix.
Well,
the defense is coming
know.
together.
Okay, well, portions of this hour, by the way, the Hangout brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Stock, promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out at highproductmarketing.com. What do you make of the Trayvon Diggs situation?
Trayvon Diggs is a bad attitude, and I am happy to get him out of the locker room. Guys like him can bring everything crashing down. He's a me guy, and I'm happy he's gone. Like,
Okay, what?
plus he sucked for the last year.
What did he do? Like, what happened that culminated with this? Because
Well, it's been going on for a long time. The only reason he was on injured reserve, and he's been healthy for weeks.
okay,
The only reason they pulled him off is because they had so many other injuries. They had nobody that could play. So they brought him back for the one game, and he stunk. And then he was going to the second game. And so the Cowboys' rule was, because it was the holiday game that they were playing, I think it was in Washington.
It was in Washington.
And then the rule of the team was, hey, we know it's the holidays, but we're all flying back to Dallas together as a team, and then you guys can go where you're going to go. And he went, and he was not the only person that went to the team and said, hey, can I not go back on the plane? My family's already here in Washington, so I don't want to have to fly to Dallas just to fly right back to Washington.
right.
Which, sure, it kind of makes sense. But when your boss says, who pays you millions of dollars, says, no, that's not what we're doing. Everyone has to go home to Dallas. Same for everybody. And he says, screw you. I'm not getting on that plane. And he doesn't get on the plane. You have no choice but to get rid of him.
It is silly that they would try to make him go all the way to Dallas and then back to Washington.
What I haven't figured out yet
if that is the case,
is, did he ask before the game? Like, was it week of? Did he ask, or did he ask after the game and say, hey, I'm going to stick around?
Wow.
And if it was before, I think because they played earlier, so there was a little more time off. People were flying out anyways. To me, I think you could make an allowance, but like, okay, you're coming to Washington. You can stay in Washington.
Yeah.
Where I think that's a bad move by the Cowboys. If he asked well in advance and they said, no, you have to fly all the way back to Dallas just to fly back to Washington.
I don't know.
If it was though after the game and just going, hey, do you mind if I stick around? I'm like, no, we've already made plans. Like, this is we can't. I don't know what there has to be with flight and all of that. And it's like, no, this is what the thing is. You should have asked. Then I think you have to get on that plane. I just don't know when he asked.
Right, and I don't know that either. But it still comes down to this: whether he's going to Washington or whether he's going wherever, the rules have to be the same for everybody. You can't.
I think you can afford allowances if it's in the same city.
Well,
I think you can afford an allowance to be like, this is stupid for you to fly to Dallas just to fly back to this exact same spot.
But what if a guy is in Washington? It's a lot quicker to fly from Washington to Chicago or to Boston or whatever than it is to Dallas and all the way back. I mean, you can, as a boss, whoever's making that decision, I don't know who makes that decision on the team, but you cannot make the rules different for everybody. If this is what you're saying the rule is, you have to live by it no matter what.
I do believe there are other sports there's been those allowances.
I was going to say, I remember we were on the road going into the bye week or Christmas break or something like that, and there was a nice chunk of days off for the Oilers. So I think we're out east, and after the game, the plane ride back to Edmonton, it was like half full. It was a really fun plane ride because everybody went other places, and it was
that's
great.
Your rule,
yeah.
I think that rule would be great.
Yeah,
that rule would make sense to help the guys get to where they need to get quicker. But they said that we're all going home together.
It's also Christmas time. Bend your rule on Christmas.
Yeah.
This is why the Cowboys aren't going to win anything, Murray.
Well,
you guys have weird rules. You guys have these dumb rules, and you're sticking by these rules as opposed to maybe going like, maybe we shouldn't have these rules.
I'm not saying that I agree with the rule, but if you say that's the rule, you have to stand by it.
I think that there are times you could afford allowances. And I think Christmas time is a great time to do that.
I'm agreeing with you. I 100% think they should have
said no to him.
They said no to others too.
Yeah, but they weren't staying in Washington.
Well, you don't know that.
Well, I think those stories would have come up if they were staying in Washington.
Bottom
Then that's
line,
on those
though,
players' fault for not saying, hey, I want to stick around.
Bottom line is Trayvon Diggs has gone backwards as a player, and he's got a bad attitude, so see you later.
But now he's a Packer.
Yeah, good for
Him
him.
and Micah.
Good for him.
One will be playing in
they're
playoffs,
best
though.
buddies, so that fits. I mean, I was not surprised to see him sign in Green Bay, but I also won't be surprised if the Bears throw at him all game next week and light him up like a Christmas tree. So,
Or maybe he's just away from the Jerry Jones world and he's going to be free. And he's going to feel great.
that
And he's
could
going
be
to have a pick six
that could be.
and help lead the Packers to the second round.
Please no, because the Cowboys have their first round draft pick. I want it to stay where it is. It doesn't need to go further back.
It's all about what Murray wants.
Well, it's all about what the Cowboys need, which is we need 2 starters on defense out of this draft. We're getting one at the first pick at number 12 for sure. At 2021, wherever that one's going to fall, hopefully it stays there, then we should be able to get a second one.
Bane from the Miami Hurricanes defensive line. Keep an eye on him.
He's one that's Dallas certainly has their eye on.
He's a beast.
Yes.
Mezzador Canadian, too. I think he's projected in the second or third round right now.
Which the Cowboys don't have picks in either of those rounds, but
Look at that.
I'm just going to be fascinated to follow the Canadian, see where he goes now. No, Thursday can't come soon enough. We should talk some Oilers.
it is.
Sure, why
I was
not?
just thinking
We
that.
haven't done that yet.
It's more over 3/4 of the way through the show,
Yeah.
and the Oilers have not been mentioned until this moment.
Were you surprised by the performance on Saturday?
Yeah, a little bit. Even though it was an afternoon game, even though they got their butts whooped on New Year's Eve, they're flat again. And it's a lot of people texted this in that they expected the Oilers to come out of the Christmas break with a couple of duds, and they have. What are they, 1-3 in the 4 games since Christmas? And it's crazy because it wasn't a long break. It was 3 days. It was 3 days, and they were playing well going into the break. A 3-day break. And now they go out there, and it's... I asked Cass, I'm like, I threw it at him after the Winnipeg game because they won that game. They got heavily outshot. Pickard was fantastic last week. And I said, are you noticing some trends? And I know that they just won, and I know it's like 2 games out of the break, but are you seeing some things that might be concerning? Cass is like, kind of stuff that you want to keep an eye on, but they should be okay against Boston, a team that was struggling. And Boston whooped them. And then you go, okay, the Flyers got whooped in Calgary a couple days prior. The Oilers got whooped by Boston. So both teams should be motivated. And Joaquin made a great point again. He said it looked like the Oilers were a team that just rolled out of bed, and it looked like the Flyers were a team that came to play. And that's exactly what happened. And I know that the depth scoring isn't there. I know they put the kid line together, and it didn't last the whole game. Shocking. Defensively, I mean, Darnell Nurse's puck touches were pretty rough. And I know people are probably, his puck touches are always rough. Yes, but like when he's going back to handle a puck and find an outlet, he was bobbling it the whole afternoon. There's a lot of things in that game where you're just like, wow, what happened to this team?
The Oilers' record in afternoon games, though, they never.
It has gotten better, though. That's the thing. Like historically, and for decades, awful.
Yeah.
But they've played so many more in the McDavid era. They've actually had success. They were actually good in back-to-back games a year or two ago. This year, they had like 1 or 2 overtime losses in the first 5 or 6 back-to-back situations, and it's a lot of the trends that they had bucked from the franchise's history in decades past, years past. They've kind of reverted back to where it's like morning or afternoon game suck, back-to-backs suck. It's just, and I said it on the post game show. They're still they were in first, going into that game. They stayed in first in the division. They're right there. I know they're burning up games and opportunities, I should say, with some of these losses, but it does still feel like this is going to ultimately be a season where they don't go anywhere near as far as they did in years past. And it's hard to get to Game 7 and Game 6 of the Cup final in back-to-back years. I recognize that. But this might be a step-back year, and then they springboard ahead with some, hopefully, right moves next year and in the offseason, and then make another run for it and finally win a Stanley Cup. But just, to me, it just, even from the start of the year, I said it, Murray, like it feels like this year will be a step back. But
the depth has taken a massive hit.
well, yeah, they haven't signed guys that are capable, and then they don't play the bottom 6 guys, and it's like, well, what is it? They're not good enough, or they don't play them?
Yeah,
It's kind of both. A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
well,
Defense isn't good enough either.
Bottom 6 scoring is obviously a massive issue, but combine that in this little lull. Draisaitl is not at his best right now.
No, he hasn't
he's
looked
struggling.
that good
So
last week.
if Connor can't do it by himself, and so if both of those guys are going, sure, they're going to win some hockey games, and because they can outscore the bottom 6 issues if they're both going. But if only one of them is going, they're in a lot of trouble.
The thing, just looking ahead to playoffs, the Pacific's just not good.
No, it's
It
not.
isn't.
There's a path for the Oilers to easily be in the conference final. Like,
Which is
that's the one
crazy,
thing. Like,
yeah.
if you sit in the playoff spot, you get the playoffs started today, they'd get the Ducks. I'd like the Oilers to beat the Ducks.
I would think so.
They'd get the Vegas Golden Knights. The Vegas Golden Knights don't seem as scary as they once have in years past. The Oilers could easily get through that one, and all of a sudden you're in the conference finals, and you're 4 wins away from a Stanley Cup final appearance again.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
While the Central is beating up on each other,
Yes.
Yeah, because the top 3 teams in the league are in the Central.
you
Great.
come in and so like that's the Oilers are benefiting from the fact that their division isn't so strong, that no one has taken a shot and running with it. The Golden Knights still have 2 games in hand on the Oilers, equal points. Ducks have a game in hand on the Oilers. They're a point back of the Oilers. And the LA Kings have 2 games in hand, and they're 3 back of the Oilers.
They're going backwards, though.
And the big question is, when does Jim Hiller get let go? And when is Pete DeBoer brought in?
Soon. I got a question for you, though, Tommy, because I listened to your post-game show, and Texter texted something in, and you said you disagreed with the text, and what the texter opinion was something that I've been jumping up and down, hooting and hollering about for ever since you got hired.
Yeah.
You disagreed with the point that the fingers got to get pointed to a certain degree at Stan Bowman. And if you look at his July 1 signings, you look at any trades that he's made, you look at the contract that he's given, not only the July 1 signing of Frederick, but the money and the term. Now, I'm telling you, the Wallman contract's going to end up being an albatross as well.
It was applauded when he signed it.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Not by me, it wasn't.
No, I understand.
Yeah, because I still go back to Detroit gave a second-round draft pick asset to get him the heck off their team.
Yeah.
And, a year before the Oilers are signing him to whatever, like
7 by 7.
7 by 7. Like, the thing after thing after thing after thing is mounting of him making bad decisions.
Yeah, I'm not. So I disagreed with the texter for pointing the finger specifically at Stan Bowman.
Yeah, you said you weren't ready to go there yet.
Yeah, no, I'll stand by that. Like, do I like the moves that he's made? Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's, what is he, a year and a half into his tenure? And keep in mind, it's him and Jackson that work as a tandem. And yes, Stan's the day-to-day guy. This team is not as strong as it was on paper and on the ice compared to the one that we saw at this time last year and the one 2 years ago.
So cap management, asset management.
Yeah.
He's failing miserably.
I think second,
They
yes.
are.
I wouldn't say necessarily the first one.
Wait,
Cap management.
you wouldn't say cap management when he's giving huge dollars to Frederick and huge dollars to
There is a
Mangiapane?
lot of money. Now, this also comes because of McDavid, but the Oilers have a lot of cap coming next year.
Yeah.
Sure.
And they don't have as many players to sign.
Yeah. So we'll see. But he still has albatrosses of contracts
Yeah.
that aren't going away.
Yeah. So I'm like,
Well, Najee might go away, but
they're trying to.
Frederick is to me. I'm still in a wait and see for next year.
yeah.
And
Because
that's
it's
not
only-
a huge cap hit.
No, that's the thing. So it's like you're just stuck with it for 8
It's
years.
a terrible term. I don't know.
And with the cap shooting up, but what if he comes in? He's actually finding that player next year. Like it doesn't take a lot for him to get to a level of where we're saying he's a $3.8 million player. It's not a lot he has to do.
Yeah.
So it's achievable. Wallman, I do like it is high, but again, the cap is shooting up quite significantly, and 3 of your top 4 defensemen or 4 of your 4 are signed.
Yeah.
Like Ekholm is signed to a nice deal,
Yeah, he's also depreciating.
Yeah, he's
Absolutely.
depreciating asset.
but you're not like there's a little bit of a balancing act there when it comes to the money over here to over here type thing. So I'm not ready to I'll agree with the asset management, like losing Troy Stetcher for nothing, losing Noah Philp for not. Like to me, there's always
That's badass.
losing
Philp
for
one is bad.
nothing.
Yeah.
That even if you're getting a 7th round pick, I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to go there yet with cap management though yet, because I'll see next year.
Yeah, you'll see.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with free agency in the NHL is how many guys, because the cap's going up, everybody has cap
Yes.
space. Guys are signing their guys. Nobody,
You're very
almost
true on that.
nobody of consequence is hitting free agency anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a trend that is likely to stay. The odd guy might go through. But then who's to say the Oilers are going to be the ones to get them?
You're right on that.
It's not going to be easy for teams to build through free agency as it has been in the past, because the salary cap issues for all teams has pretty much dissipated for now. And keep signing bad contracts to guys, and the salary cap's going to disappear, because what's going to happen in 5 or 6 years is not everyone, but most teams are going to be in salary cap trouble again, because they're just going to be giving out those bigger buck contracts.
Yes.
And the issue that everyone or most teams were in 2 years ago is going to be the issue that, again, most teams are going to be in, call it 5 years from now, 6 years from now, as those contracts go up.
It all depends on how much the cap's going up. The one reason all the teams had such major cap issues was because we had a flat cap because of COVID for a number of years.
It'll top out at some point, though. It can't go up forever, can it?
You want to know something? Before COVID, I thought the same thing, but it kept going up, and it was going to go up another $7 million that year. Mm-hmm. That to me, there's look at baseball salaries. I always thought there'd be a top on point on that one, but it just, I don't know. It seems like it never ends. It just keeps going and going and going. So naturally, the NHL salary cap could just keep going up. It could be going anywhere between $2 and $7 million a year, and there's enough to keep you always away from where the GM's fully in cap hell for a number of 3 or 4 years.
But then guys are maintaining their assets. So building through the draft is what is typically going to be the way it works now.
It's trades too, though.
Sign and trades.
Sure.
And that's the only thing is for the Oilers is what do you have to go trade to get players?
Search Stan Bowman's trade history, because he hasn't won very many in his career as a GM. So he gives away really good players for nothing. He has a long history of it.
They don't have good players to give away right now.
They look at that blue line right now.
Well, Regula is not an NHL defenseman. Get over it.
Yeah, and I mean, he had some rough patches in that game, among others, against Philly. But and Cass and I talked about this as well. Like, he's played 48 NHL games now, and if he's going to become any type of NHL defenseman, he needs to play and go through this stuff. Now, when you're having these mistakes consistently and you're not learning from them, and you're flubbing it up, it's a bad sign. Bad sign. But I'm assuming they're hoping that he wakes up and starts to become the guy that they thought he might be. But
Stan Bowman thought he was.
Yeah, I know.
Stan Bowman pet. He's not 21 or 22 years old.
he's
either.
23, right? Or 20? No, he's 25.
25. So it's
No, sorry. Emerson and Stasny are 25, I believe.
Stasny's 26. Emberson.
Regula, I think Regula's 24 now.
Where is he?
But he's my point on him is he's been around
Emberson's
for a while.
25. Stasny's 26. Regula's 25.
25.
Okay, he's
So
25. Okay.
he's not like he's young. He's
No.
shown for years that he's an AHL player And now Stan Bowman thinks he can make. He's not an NHL player.
So I remember when they plucked him from the Bruins off waivers, and it was told, yeah, it's one of Stan's guys. He knows the player. He thinks there's something there, and the Bruins had a plan for Regula, and we thought we caught them off guard by plucking him. Okay, I guess, but trying to think you're smarter than everybody else doesn't generally work out. Because you're doing something that no one else is, and it's like, well, there's probably a reason why other teams aren't doing that or don't think so highly of so and so. Spencer Stastny has been okay. Like I'll give them credit to this point for maybe having uncovered something, but Emberson, I guess has to play more games. Obviously, Stastny has to play more games. He just, what is he, like 87 games into his career? Regula has 48 games in it. That's a lot of inexperience, even at 25, 26 years of age, for half your blue line. Yeah. And then you've got an old, depreciating Matthias Ekholm, who, listen, man, that guy's the Viking for a reason.
Yeah.
You got Darnell Nurse, who's wildly inconsistent, and when he screws up big. And then you have Evan Bouchard, who, as good as he is offensively, which is elite, he could be equally as bad defensively and has zero physical play. And then you got Jake Wallman, who's just always hurt. So that's a lot of issues.
Yes.
This blue line concerns me about this team the most. Yes, depth scoring, I understand, I recognize. Yes, goaltending, I get it. But when you can't rely on your defensemen, A, to defend, B, to get pucks up to your forwards,
yeah,
like that's scary.
Well, and that's why I agree with you. Like, even though in the weak Pacific Division, they're right at the top, and we've been saying this for weeks, months, whatever, that, they're going to find a way to get in the playoffs, and then you never know once you get to the playoffs.
Right.
But in terms of their goaltending is not good, their defense is not good, their depth scoring is not good. Mm-hmm. They have two of the very best players in the world. And Connor McDavid has played in the last, 6 weeks like the absolute very best player in the world that he is.
Right. Yeah.
And those two guys can carry a bunch of junk to get to the playoffs. Absolutely, they can.
They kind of are.
Yeah, exactly.
They kind of are.
Nashville will set things right, though, for this team.
I like that optimism. That's very good.
I think Big Uke had that in the nasty chat.
Very good, Big Uke.
Like So there was what they need. Leon Draisaitl could get going. He could start getting his goals and go beat Nashville. They could
let Schnitzel at Christmas.
They could start off this January run that they've done the last 3 years.
Well, Nashville's playing better, though. Like, some of the parity is just obscene right now in this league. Like, Buffalo Sabres go from everyone thinks they suck, and they get a new GM who never made any roster moves or coaching moves, and they've won, 8 in a row, and they're
10.
in the playoff spot. 10 in a row. They're in the playoff spot. Are you kidding me?
If you don't look at the standings every day and you miss a day or something, the standings could be just completely different the next time that you see them with how close they are. Washington is the last wild card team at 48 points. The worst team in the East is at 43 points. 5 points separates the last playoff team with the worst team in the Eastern Conference. The Preds are only a point back of the Kings for a wild card spot. Also Seattle started off well. They faltered. They're now right back in a wild card spot.
That's insane.
Calgary got up there a little bit, but 43 points is the last wild card team in the West. 6 points gets you to the second. I'm taking Winnipeg out this right now. They're at 34 points. They're far. Even 6 points, Vancouver, second last in the West from the last wild card spot. It's not that wild of a jumps that you can have. No. So, it's parity. Well, it's 10 points that separates the top team in the East and the worst team in the East. 10 points.
Oof. Well, when you look at my Blackhawks, Connor Bedard gets hurt. They were in the second wild card spot when he got hurt. They lose, and Nazar gets hurt too, so they can't score any goals.
Yep.
They're last place in the league. Yep. Now they've got 7 of their last 8 possible points still without Bedard and Nazar, and they're now 2 points out of a playoff spot. Like just a yo-yo up and down. You win a few in a row, you're right there. You lose a few in a row, you're in the race for number one.
Gary
overall.
Bettman's NHL, baby.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to rip on the OT points and all that, but hey, we're loving the parody, aren't we?
Yeah.
Or you're the Oilers, you don't even get a winning streak, and you're in first in the division somehow.
Because they still never have won 3 in a row, have they?
They have not.
No.
Unreal.
The Oilers have 20 wins. The Golden Knights only have 17. But the Golden Knights have 12 OT losses. The Oilers have 6, and they're tied at 46 points.
12 OT losses.
So they're taking advantage of those points in overtime. Gary Bettman's NHL, baby. This is what we all wanted.
So
The
you're
Avs
saying there's a chance.
The Avs only have 3 regulation losses this season, which is
That
ridiculous.
seems
That
insane.
is. One of them was yesterday, though. They lost yesterday.
They're good.
They are.
They are good.
But they're not. Nobody predicted them to be a juggernaut this year.
Not juggernaut, no.
No. Like,
Good team, yes. Juggernaut, no.
and like Winnipeg, bottom of the league. Winnipeg was certainly projected by pretty much every prognosticator to be top 3 in the division.
Yeah. They can't score.
And they have Hellebuck back. And it's been with Hellebuck back. They can't even use we lost our goalie that they had at one point. Play Alberta, download the app, visit them, playalberta.ca. New and improved odds for all major North American leagues in North America over at playalberta.ca. Just quickly, over under Montana State Bobcats. Oh, it moved to 11.5 point spread over Illinois Redbirds. Do they cover over under the 11.5?
I don't know. Yes.
Have you ever watched one of these games?
I was watching Montana
Montana
State. They were playing in the semis.
Is that where Dickinson played?
He was Montana Grizzly.
Oh, okay. Sorry, not Montana.
He was
State.
not Montana State. He was Montana Grizzly.
Why were you so bored that you were watching that?
I wasn't bored. I love football.
Well, usually
He does
teams-
love
And
football.
that was actually a day. That was the day of the playoffs, the quarterfinals, and the rest of the games weren't that like that was for the most part was actually a pretty exciting game. Most of it. It was really good, and it was just a battle of Montana.
Okay.
It's great. FCS football is pretty fun at times.
Okay.
Are they going to cover that 11.5?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Over.
I know.
Over.
That's
That 11.5 changed it a little bit.
that's the conference where Riley played, right? And,
Yeah.
And yeah.
That would have
okay.
been.
So
yeah.
there's
Hey,
obviously some good
that's the
players
thing.
there.
There's CFLers that are coming through that.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
it's, I want to say it's ABC tonight. So you can go watch it. If you're looking there's no Monday Night Football.
No.
So you can go watch some college football.
Watch the gold medal game that Canada's not in. You can watch that.
Oh, it's on ESPN. I don't know. Maybe it'll be on TSN. Montana State, Illinois State,
There's been-
FCS Championship.
There's been so many college football games on TSN. It's been great.
It's been awesome. I destroyed
there's always
St.
something
Luke
on.
in our pick'ems. So I'm very happy about that. This is the Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada Storage Experts. Check them out, sentinel.ca. Only a couple more minutes left. And Dusty and I will have the lock shop. We've got Oil Stream today, EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. And a reminder with tomorrow's Oiler game against the Preds, we will have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre and post game shows. Tommy and Benny will get you set for that one as the Oilers continue. And we're everything's just back to normal. School's back.
Yeah.
Work life's back. Everyone's back to
Good.
works. Our next holiday is Family Day.
When is that? That's February 2nd weekend?
Yeah, 17th or something like that.
17th.
16th.
I'm going from here to work. It's been be the first time that I'm at work in 2.5 weeks.
What's
Nice.
going on over at the ranch?
I don't know. Ask me later this afternoon.
About to find out.
Just booking tournaments.
Yeah.
We're starting a reno on our washrooms in the clubhouse today.
Oh,
So we're not doing any functions at all till we open back up in the spring.
bathrooms are nice.
Oh, wait till you see them.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, they're going to be fancy.
fancy,
We got
fancy.
such great feedback on the renovations of the washrooms on the course that I decided
Those are great.
Decided, reno the ones in the clubhouse and make those absolutely fabulous.
I have a side question for you.
All right, ask
So courses with restrooms on the course are fantastic. We see more of it, especially around here, which is fantastic as well. Is it expensive and hard to maintain a couple of bathrooms on the course?
I wouldn't necessarily call it expensive to maintain them.
But then why are there some courses that don't do it? It's like they throw a crappy porta potty out there and it's like, eh.
Well, I mean, if you're going to build nice washrooms, yes, that's not cheap.
Right.
But it's tough because who cleans them? Like at most golf courses, the ground staff is the ones that are kind of responsible for them, but they're also busy getting the golf course. So a lot of places, the washrooms will get down the priority list. And, you know, it's something that can really impact the customer experience.
Totally. Because you'd only need one on the back and one on the front. And then you get one at the turn, either in clubhouse or the snack shack.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
So, like, we've added our ambassadors that go around. They also check on them through the day. Like, most golf courses, the ground crew is done at 1 or 2 o'clock.
Right.
So, someone goes in and destroys the washroom at 3 o'clock, and you got 8 more hours of people coming through that. I mean, what do you do? So, that's why our ambassadors, every time they go around, they'll stop in and check them and whatnot. And so, that's the hard part, is the finding the time and the people that are going to clean them.
Right.
Yeah.
EST Hangout for Sentinel Storage done for another day. Back tomorrow. Murray, it's good seeing you. Happy New Year.
You guys too.
We'll see you again next Monday. Thank you everyone for tuning into the Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. As I said, a lock shop coming up in just a few minutes with Dusty and myself. On behalf of Tommy, Murray, I'm Matt. Again, thanks for tuning into your Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. Lock shop in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Look at this. Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you, joining us today.